she has gotten significantly bigger. Stephanie White has confirmed it. Stephanie White has gone out here and confirmed that Caitlin Clark has been bulking up. Like, that she's bulked up as a player and that she's no longer like skinny and weak.
If you thought Caitlin Clark was unstoppable last year, wait until you see what's coming. The Daily Mail dropped a bombshell with photos showing Clark's dramatic body transformation, and it's got the WNBA world buzzing. Brie Lewerka posted on X, "Well, someone's been in the weight room at Caitlin Clark 22, and those pics don't lie. Clark's packed on serious muscle. She came into the league in 2024 at 152 pounds, fresh off Iowa's title game, and while she dominated with 19.2 points and 8.5 assists per game, she took a beating. Opponents like Kennedy Carter and Alyssa Thomas tested her physically, and with just 8 days between college and the pros, she didn't have time to bulk up. Now, she's a different beast. Stronger arms, broader shoulders, a frame built to handle the grind. This isn't just a glow-up, it's a game changer, and it's setting the stage for a showdown that could leave Angel Reese humiliated when the Indiana Fever face the Chicago Sky on May 17th. Can Reese stop her now? Let's break it all down. First off, let's talk about what this transformation means. Last year, Clark played all 40 games plus playoffs, 1,325 minutes, third most in the league, and you could see the wear. She faced 3.2 hard screens per game, per second spectrum, the second highest mark, and her 5.6 turnovers per game showed how pressure rattled her at times. But this offseason, with no college season to rush through, she's had months to train. Fever GM Lynn Dunn confirmed in January they had a plan for her development, and Kelly Krauskopf, the team president, told Sportico on March 6th they're building around her growth. Those gym sessions? Likely heavy lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench presses, plus a nutrition overhaul.
Alright guys, we're starting a little TikTok weight room vlog. We're gonna show you what we do.
Get the butt down.
Okay, speed. Okay, speed.
Wait, good for it.
Oh, she is strong.
Maybe 3,000 calories a day with tons of protein like chicken and shakes. The result? A sturdier Clark who could push her inside, shooting from 41% last year to 45% or more, and cut those turnovers to 4.5. That's not speculation, that's what added muscle can do, and it's terrifying for defenders like Reese, who relied on physicality to slow her down. Now, let's get to the rivalry, because this is where it gets juicy. Clark and Reese have been locked in a battle since college, and in 2024, their 4 WNBA matchups drew 15 million viewers total per ESPN, with sellout crowds everywhere. Reese won 3 of those games, averaging 13.5 points and 13 rebounds, while Clark countered with 17.8 points and 8.3 assists. But here's the catch. Clark struggled inside, shooting just 38% on 2-pointers against the Sky per synergy, often getting muscled out by Reese and Camila Cardoso. Reese's strength was her edge, using her 6'3" frame and 12.1 rebounding average to dominate the paint. Last year's August 27th game saw Reese out-rebound Clark 15-4, and Clark admitted post-game it threw off her rhythm, but with this new muscle, Clark could drive harder, finish through contact, and match Reese's physicality. Imagine her zipping past Reese for a layup, or powering through for a mid-range jumper. Reese might not have an answer, and that's where the humiliation could kick in. To fully grasp the magnitude of Clark's physical transformation, let's consider other legendary athletes who've made similar leaps. Remember when LeBron James famously bulked up during his Miami Heat days, completely altering his approach and making him virtually unguardable inside? Clark's transformation mirrors that trajectory. This isn't merely cosmetic, it could completely redefine her style of play. Coaches around the league are undoubtedly scrambling to adjust their strategies, fearing the ramifications of a stronger, more dominant Clark driving fearlessly into the paint. Let's dig deeper into the implications of Clark's transformation for her team. Indiana Fever's GM Lynn Dunn specifically tailored this offseason strategy around Clark, and the entire franchise seems ready to leverage this newfound strength to rewrite their playbook. Sources within the Fever organization suggest there might even be specific plays being designed to exploit Clark's new physicality, particularly in matchups against players like Reese. Another key element in Clark's offseason development is her improved endurance. Not only has her strength increased, but sources report her conditioning has reached elite levels, meaning late game fatigue that previously caused sloppy turnovers or rushed shots could be significantly reduced. Imagine Clark in the fourth quarter still playing at peak intensity while her opponents start to fade. This endurance upgrade alone could lead to more clutch performances in tight late game situations. Let's consider the psychological warfare at play here too. Angel Reese has thrived on being the physical enforcer, the intimidator. Her dominance against Clark last year likely boosted her confidence significantly. But how does Reese adjust mentally when the opponent she once dominated physically suddenly matches or even surpasses her strength? This mental battle could be just as crucial as the physical one. Will Reese maintain her composure, or could we see frustration emerge and lead to costly mistakes? Clark's increased strength could also translate directly to her defense. We already know her steals per game were impressive at 2.7, but improved muscle and confidence in defensive matchups could elevate this further. If she can handle bigger opponents more effectively, we might see her becoming a defensive threat, turning defense into offense through steals and fast break opportunities. Finally, let's consider the long-term impact of Clark's transformation on the WNBA itself. A more physically dominant Clark not only propels her personal brand higher, but also raises the league's overall competitiveness. Rivalries like Clark versus Reese generate immense fan interest, and as Clark's stardom rises, she's likely to draw in even more viewers and new fans. The May 17th game against Reese isn't just another matchup, it's a potential turning point for both players' legacies. Can Reese adapt to a newly unstoppable Clark, or is humiliation unavoidable? Clark's physical upgrade has set the stage for a historic showdown. What's your take on Clark's transformation? Is Reese ready to face this new challenge, or will Clark's muscle reign supreme? Share your thoughts below, subscribe for daily updates, and stay tuned for the latest news and hottest takes from around the WNBA. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Catch you tomorrow. Of course, the WNBA never lacks compelling storylines, but the renewed clash between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese is shaping up to be must-watch television for a whole new level of intensity. Many fans and analysts believe that if Clark can convert her off-season gains into immediate on-court results, she could single-handedly shift the balance of power in the Eastern Conference. Already, the hype is gathering beyond just the Fever and Sky fan bases. Fans from all across the league are gearing up for what they expect to be a heavyweight showdown of epic proportions, and no one seems more aware of this than the league office itself. Word has it that the WNBA is preparing special promotional packages, highlight reels, and behind-the-scenes access to pump up the hype for that May 17th game. Ticket sales, predictably, are through the roof. One crucial aspect to watch during the matchup is the strategic chess game that coaches will play. While Clark's new muscle mass allows her to power through contact, it also invites defenders to try different tactics. Will they opt to double team her earlier? Will they try to funnel her into mid-range jumpers and away from easy driving lanes? How exactly do you stop a player who can both snipe from 30 feet and bulldoze her way to the rim now that her strength has improved? In response, Clark's teammates must be ready. The Fever aren't just a one-woman show. Players like Natasha Howard, Dawana Bonner, and a rumored Sophie Cunningham addition all have the ability to drop 15 to 20 points if left unchecked. If opposing defenses collapse on Clark, she'll have a field day dishing assists to open shooters on the perimeter or to bigs cutting to the basket. This is the catch-22 for teams facing the Fever. Overcommit to stopping Clark's drives and you open up everyone else. But if you don't commit enough, Clark's unstoppable motor could tear you apart. Meanwhile, Angel Reese must contend not just with Clark, but also with the improvements Indiana has made across the board. Reese's bread and butter has always been her ability to outmuscle and out-hustle opponents, dominating the boards and patrolling the paint. She's never been known as a lights-out shooter or an elite ball handler, so if Clark's newfound physical presence neutralizes some of that advantage on the inside, it could push Reese out of her comfort zone, forcing her to rely more on perimeter play or mid-range jumpers. On top of that, the emotional component can't be discounted. Reese thrives on intensity and thrives on imposing her will, but an equally strong Clark might raise the stakes in their psychological battle. In sports history, we've seen how a single transformative offseason can completely alter a star's trajectory. Michael Jordan famously added muscle to prepare for the physicality of the Detroit Pistons in the late 80s, transforming the Bulls' fortunes in the process. Kobe Bryant evolved his body to withstand the demands of leading the Lakers for extended playoff runs. The difference here is that Caitlin Clark is making these changes at a pivotal time, right after an exhausting rookie year where she barely had a break between college and the pros. If Jordan and Bryant are any indication, a stronger, more durable Clark is not just a benefit to the Fever, it's a possible generational shift for the WNBA. There's also a marketing angle to consider. The WNBA is increasingly becoming a hotbed for brand endorsements and commercial partnerships, especially for charismatic and talented players. Clark's surge in popularity, combined with a widely publicized physical transformation, creates a near-perfect storm for endorsements. Companies love a story of resilience, dedication, and improvement, and if Clark performs well against Reese, especially in high-profile matchups, her brand value is likely to skyrocket. This in turn can funnel more attention and money into the league as a whole. Speaking of money, it's no secret that the WNBA's salary structure is a frequent topic of debate. When a transcendent star like Clark comes along, fans often wonder if the league's pay scale can keep up with her value. She's already a box office draw, not just in Indiana, but in away arenas across the country. People come out to see if she'll hit another 30-foot bomb or notch another triple-double. Imagine how that hype magnifies if she's also powering through contact and finishing and ones on a regular basis. You can almost hear the endorsements knocking. On the court though, success will still hinge on fundamentals. Clark's improved physique won't do much good if she loses focus on basics like footwork, shot selection, and decision making under pressure. The same can be said for Reese. She can't rely on Clark being physically overmatched anymore, so she'll need to show more finesse or a deeper bag of tricks. That includes reading defenses more effectively, improving her mid-range game, or even acting as a decoy to free up teammates. If she can do that, the Sky might still have the edge in certain matchups. But if she can adapt, Clark could truly humiliate her, as the script suggests. Not everyone was convinced though. Brendan Schaub sparked controversy by calling it a garbage decision and insisting Alex Pereira clear as day one, while others like former UFC fighter Matt Brown saw the fight completely differently. I got it 4-1 Ankalaev. Henry Cejudo, the Olympic gold medalist and former 2-division UFC champion, praised the tactical approach. What a performance put forth by Magomed Ankalaev. Tactical game plan executed to perfection. The rematch will be legendary. This sentiment was echoed by Aljamain Sterling, who tweeted, "Good chess match. Ankalaev controlled Pereira a lot in key moments to take the rounds. Great story for Ankalaev to become the new champ. One thing is crystal clear, this fight has the entire MMA world buzzing with opinions, analysis, and heated debates about what exactly happened when the unstoppable force of Pereira's striking met the immovable object of Ankalaev's pressure." The conversations taking place in gyms, on social media, and among fight fans everywhere prove that this championship change is one of the most significant and unexpected in recent UFC history. For the fans, all of this sets up an unprecedented level of anticipation. The 2024 showdowns were already intense, but 2025 promises an even bigger spectacle. Every rebound, every box out, every collision in the paint will be magnified by the narrative. Has Clark truly surpassed Reese's physicality? Will Reese find a way to regain control? Or is this the dawn of a new era in which Caitlin Clark stands alone at the top? We also can't overlook the intangible elements, leadership, chemistry, and the intangibles that determine who truly excels when the stakes are highest. Clark's fiery competitiveness might be amplified by her newfound strength, while Reese could either rise to the challenge or crumble. The psychological dance between these two stars is a storyline that extends beyond the box score. Will we see more trash talk on the court, more mental games, or a quiet determination to let the stat sheets speak for themselves? Off the court, both players stand at a crossroads. Clark has the potential to become the face of the league, especially with Diana Taurasi's retirement and the thirst for a new star to dominate headlines. Reese, having played second fiddle to Clark in terms of national hype, even though she's historically beaten Clark on the court more often, might feel an urge to prove once and for all that she's every bit the star Clark is, maybe more. Such a dynamic can fuel training regimens, sharpen mental preparation, and sometimes create friction in press conferences. Reese. It's a storyline that not only heightens drama, but also keeps casual fans glued to their screens. When we talk about the potential for humiliation, it's essential to clarify that we're talking about the kind of competitive edge that can break a player's will in the middle of a game. If Clark starts racking up triple doubles, powering through contact, and finishing consistently at the rim, actions that Reese has historically prided herself on preventing, it could be a psychological blow from which Reese struggles to recover. Conversely, if Reese stands her ground, swats a few of Clark's shots, and maintains her own scoring and rebounding dominance, it's Clark who might have to reconsider how impactful her transformation really is. Ultimately, the entire league is bracing for these fireworks, and fans are in for a treat. The WNBA has been on an upward trajectory in terms of viewership and popularity, and rivalries like Clark versus Reese are the fuel that keeps that fire burning brightly. Social media discussions are ramping up, podcasts are dedicating entire episodes to analyzing new footage of Clark's workouts, and sports networks are scheduling feature stories to track the progress of both players as opening day looms. This rivalry also offers a fascinating lens into how quickly a narrative can shift. Just last year, Reese was the one coming out on top in most head-to-head contests, capitalizing on her physicality to stifle Clark's drives and disrupt her shooting rhythm. Now, the conversation revolves around whether Reese can withstand Clark's physical enhancements. The storyline shift is dramatic, and it underscores the fact that professional basketball is a relentless arms race, both physically and mentally. Some insiders speculate that if Clark's improved physique translates to an MVP-level performance, we could witness a changing of the guard in the WNBA. Fans love a good underdog story, but they also love seeing someone ascend to unstoppable superstar status. Clark has always had the shooting range and court vision to dominate. Add in a stronger body and unstoppable drives to the rim, and we might see a once-in-a-generation type of player. Conversely, if Reese stands her ground and once again proves to be the immovable force against Clark's unstoppable object, it elevates her legacy too as the woman who took every shot Clark could throw and still came out on top. People often forget that these women are still early in their professional careers. They have a decade or more of basketball ahead, which could mean the Clark-Reese rivalry will define the WNBA for years to come. Imagine the storied battles of Magic versus Bird, Jordan versus Isaiah Thomas, or more recently Steph Curry versus LeBron. Now place it in the context of women's basketball, where the intensity is just as high and the skill level is growing every year. That's the potential of Clark versus Reese. Let's also talk about how these developments might influence the rest of the Fever and Sky rosters. Sometimes when a star takes a big leap, teammates either rally around that star or feel overshadowed. The Fever's locker room, by all accounts, is in full support of Clark's offseason grind, excited that their floor leader is coming back better than ever. For the Sky though, there's a question of how Reese's teammates plan to respond if Clark starts dominating. Will they step up to relieve the pressure on Reese, or will they shrink from the challenge, leaving her exposed? Looking ahead, the schedule only intensifies the drama. The two games moved to the United Center, June 7th and July 27th in 2025, are expected to sell out, and the atmosphere could be electric. If Clark's surge has turned the Fever into legitimate title contenders, those matchups might even serve as a playoff preview. The WNBA, still riding high on the success of elevating top-tier matchups to bigger venues, is undoubtedly hoping these two teams produce absolute classics in front of massive crowds. Of course, social media is also a battlefield. Clark's fans are quick to post clips of her off-season workouts, highlight reels, and even rumored practice scrimmages where she's reportedly out-muscling bigger forwards. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters remain confident, pointing to her record of success against Clark and her proven track record in big games. The trash talk on platforms like X, formerly Twitter, has reached new heights, and it's only March. By the time May rolls around, the online banter might be at a fever pitch. Pun intended. This leads us to the overarching question: are we on the cusp of witnessing a generational shift in the WNBA, a moment that historians might look back on as the precise turning point in the rivalry between Clark and Reese? The outcome of the May 17th showdown won't just be a single win or loss. It could shape the entire narrative for the 2025 season and beyond. If Clark truly dominates, we might see a run of unstoppable performances, with her confidence soaring and the Fever riding her coattails deep into the playoffs. If Reese holds firm or even flips the script, we might hear talk of how muscle alone doesn't guarantee greatness. Either way, the fans win, the league wins. The hype surrounding this rivalry injects excitement, drives ticket sales, and garners media coverage that can only benefit the WNBA. Young girls watching at home see two elite athletes pushing each other to new heights, showing what's possible with hard work, determination, and passion for the game. That's the real beauty behind the drama. Two players fueling each other's improvements while capturing the imagination of a growing audience. So, as we close in on opening tip-off, keep your eyes peeled for every mention of Clark's offseason regimen and every snippet of Reese's responses in interviews. Watch the highlights, study the stats, and join the conversation online. This is the kind of rivalry that transforms entire sports. Raw, competitive, and built on mutual respect, yet tinged with enough tension and backstory to keep us glued to our screens. Will Angel Reese find a way to regain the upper hand, or will Caitlin Clark's new muscle prove to be the X factor that tips the scale in her favor? On May 17th, all the speculation, all the hype, and all the offseason rumors will finally collide on the court. And when the dust settles, we may well have our answer about who truly stands atop the league, or if the battle is only just beginning. What do you think? Are we witnessing the birth of a new WNBA superpower in Caitlin Clark? Or is Angel Reese ready to defend her turf and remind everyone why she was so dominant last year? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for daily updates on all things WNBA. Stay tuned!